flexion or extension, which is a non-neutral mechanics, then what will happen? If we do the side flexion in this situation, this will rotate on a same side. So this is about the lumbar spine. Let's have a look what is happening in thoracic spine. In neutral mechanics of thoracic spine, this is actually same as a lumbar spine. If the thoracic spine is in a neutral state and if we are doing the side bending, it will rotate on opposite side. And in a non-neutral mechanics, if we are doing the side bending, it will rotate the same side. So lumbar vertebra and thoracic vertebra is showing same mechanism on type 1, which is the neutral mechanism, and on type 2, which is the non-neutral mechanism. Then actually the before we are going to the cervical vertebra, actually we have to understand that we all know about the facet presentation and facet orientation of the cervical. There are many variation on the cervical vertebra. So we have to take the mechanics of cervical vertebra by segmental wise. We can't take whole cervical vertebra as a one unit, because the every in every segment there are a different orientation of the facet joint. So in a different segment, the cervical vertebra is showing different kind of biomechanics. So let's have a look. We will start from the top. There is a C0C1, which is occipito-atlantic joint, which is the union between the occiput bone and the atlas, and this always follow type 1, means neutral mechanics. Okay. If the occiput bend on one side, it will always rotate on opposite side. So uh, if we are assessing the posture, and if we are going to the head, if we are assessing the tilting of head, just look at me. So what we all are finding in our practice on daily basis, if the person is having right side bending, see I am doing right side bending, then the head of the person is rotated to the opposite side. This is rotated to the opposite side. So if the right side bending, so this will rotate on opposite side. If this is the left bending, this will little bit rotate on a opposite side. So I have a slide about that. So this is the occiput, this is the atlas. If we do the side, this right side bending, the occiput will rotate on a left side. So this all phenomena and this all presentation we are seeing at our clinic on daily basis. So this is the thing which the occipito-atlantal joint is obeying the mechanics, which is a type 1. Let's have see what the happening in C1 and C2, which is the atlantoaxial joint. This is the joint between the C1 and C2, and main movement is rotation. See, the C1 and C2 is having the rotational dominant. No? The rotational movement is having the जा सकता है और posteriorly भी जा सकता है. It is like a ring. It may go anteriorly or it may go posteriorly, right? या same side भी कह सकते हो या फिर opposite side भी कह सकते हो. So it may go anywhere. That is why I call it C1 is a king. And you can see on this slide, this is the C1, and it may rotate on anywhere, right? Then what is happening between the C2 to C6? C2 to C6 vertebra always follow the type 2 mechanics, means it will always rotate on a same side of the side bending. So this is the slide. If we will do the side bending of the cervical vertebra between the C2 to C6, in this slide, this is the side bending of on the right side, and you can see this all vertebra are rotating on the right side. So the summation of the cervical spine is, we have seen that occipito-atlantal joint is always obeying type 1 mechanics of Fred's law, and it will always rotate on a opposite side. Then we have seen that C1 is a king. It can go anywhere. Then we have seen that C2 to C6 will rotate on the same side of the side bending. So it will follow the second law of Freud, right? Then what about the C7? C7 is anatomically like a thoracic vertebra because it is like a T1. It will follow the both Freud's law, and it will behave like what behave as a thoracic vertebra according to the thoracic vertebra. Then the next thing is what how we can identify the position of the vertebra. So first thing is what we can assess the vertebra by two methods basically. We can see the position of particular vertebra in relation to the below vertebra, and we can see the um, we can see the motion direction restriction of the vertebra in relation to the below vertebra. So there are two methods of assessment. We can assess the vertebra in a two manner. एक तो उसका पोजीशन क्या है इन रिलेशन टू द बिलो वर्टिब्रा, और दूसरा उसका कौन सा मोशन रिस्ट्रिक्टेड है इन रिलेशन टू द बिलो वर्टिब्रा. ओके, सो देयर आर two method of assessment of the position of the vertebra. So see, हम स्पाइन को कभी भी असिस्ट करते हैं तो वी ऑलवेज assist the spine from the behind, and to assist the spine we should have a good tactile sense on our fingers and finger pad. Then only we can assist the spine, right? So apart from the x-ray and all, so manually we are, if we are going to assist the spine, we should have a good tactile senses. So I have taken a few example, and this example are very very important. Through this example you can better understand the concept of today's discussion, and you will be uh, comfortable to diagnose the assist the spinal dysfunction. So let's have what the example is saying. Just suppose for example in this slide, according to this slide, just इन्होंने यहाँ पे सपोज इन्होंने T4 का एग्जांपल लिया है, हम मान लें T4 T5. For example, we are taking the T4 vertebra. Okay, so just place the our both the thumb on the transverse process of the spine, like T4, according to this example T4, and be there for a few seconds and try to understand the symmetry of the thumb. Then if there is a asymmetry, like one thumb is going more deep and another thumb is going thumb is coming more shallow or superficial, it means what we have located the dysfunction. It means what we have located the restriction or dysfunction in a facet joint. So according to this example, what the picture is showing, the left thumb is shallow and right thumb is deep. It means what? This is very very easy, you know. It means what? This particular vertebra T4 is rotating into the left side. This vertebra is rotating into the left side. That is why the left facet joint, the left lamina and left transfer process is coming more superficially. That is why this thumb is shallow and prominent, and it is rotating on a left side. So what will happen? The right transverse process and lamina will go more deep. So the right thumb will be able to go more deeper. So we have assessed the rotation of vertebra. This is the first thing. Now we should have to identify that the vertebra is in what position. It means what? हमने रोटेशन को तो आइडेंटिफाई कर लिया है, बट हमें अभी ये नहीं पता है कि ये T4 वर्टिब्रा फ्लेक्शन के स्टेट में है या एक्सटेंशन के स्टेट में है. तो टू डायग्नोज दिस थिंग वी शुड do the some practice with the patient. we should ask the patient to bend forward and backward. We should ask the patient to flex the spine and to extend the spine. See, then let's have see what is happening in flexion. So in flexion, what we are seeing in this slide, the right thumb is going more deep and left thumb is coming more superficial. Means asymmetry has been increased as before, as compared to before picture, last picture. So it means what? यदि फ्लेक्शन स्पाइनल वर्टिब्रा के फ्लेक्शन में एसिमेट्री बढ़ जाती है, it means what? The left side facet joint is struck on a extended or closed position, right? So what we need in a flexion of spine, the facet joint should move superiorly and anteriorly, right? But due to the left facet joint was struck on a closed extended position, it is unable to move upward and superiorly. But the right facet joint is normal, so it will do the natural work and it will glide superiorly and anteriorly. So this right facet joint will be able to glide upward and superiorly and anteriorly. So there will be more deeper, and because of this left facet joint is fixed on extended position, it will work as a pivot, and the right facet joint has to rotate on the axis of this pivot to complete the motion, and that is why the asymmetry will be more on flexion. So if the what we have understand, if the facet joint is struck on an extended position and the patient will do the flexion movement, the asymmetry will be increased, right? Then let's see what is happening in extension. When we ask the patient to extend the spine, both the thumb will come on a symmetrical position. It means what? See what we have seen, the left facet joint was struck on a close extended position. So this is the extension movement. So this left side facet joint so this is the clear thing that the T4 vertebra is rotating to the left side. Let's see what is happening in the flexion and extension.